Hey everyone, welcome to our Thursday night Facebook Live. And I've got Instagram set up with us here tonight too, which is super exciting. So we're gonna be chatting to two different cameras. You know, I'm really excited to talk about this topic. And for those in my Facebook group, Love Your Guts IBS support group, I just love jamming out on these topics every single week with you guys. And I think that you know, you guys probably have some questions about this topic we're going to be talking about. And so I thought we better just make a Facebook Live all about it. All right. So one of the number one things that just absolutely breaks my heart when I hear is when people say to me, Alyssa, I tried a probiotic and it just didn't work. And the thing that breaks my heart most about that is, of course it didn't work. Of course it didn't work. And it wasn't the probiotic's fault. That's the truth, okay? So here's the thing. All of the digestive imbalances that you might be experiencing, the gas, the bloating, the diarrhea, the constipation, all of these underlying issues here that are going on, it's not just as simple as just taking a probiotic. And yes, taking probiotics is important, but a probiotic on its own is not going to fix your gut. So let's talk about some of the reasons why that might have happened to you. Let me know in the comments below as well. Like if you guys have tried taking a probiotic before and perhaps it did nothing at all, let me know in the comments, okay? Jump in that chat box and say, yep, that was me. I tried them and it did nothing and I'm not wasting my money on it ever again, okay? Let me know in the chat box below. But perhaps also you have experienced taking a probiotic before and it made things worse. If that is you, I want to hear from you too. So let me know in the comments below. Yes, I took a probiotic and it made things worse. I felt bloated, I had pain. Let me know. I've heard this before. And you know, the interesting part is that while research is still in its infancy stage around probiotics and all the plethora of trillions of bacteria that we are now looking to help us with our gut issues, it's interesting that no studies have actually reported any negative side effects that can come from a probiotic. But people are still experiencing these symptoms from taking probiotics on occasion. So again, we're going to talk about why that's happening. So Elham saying, yes, that's me. Yes, yes, yes. We got a couple of yeses happening here that people have tried them and it's just not working. So to think that, again, a probiotic is going to fix it all is kind of like saying, you know, I had this noise in my car and so maybe I'll just try putting some more oil in it and oil in my car and that'll fix it, right? Don't worry about the tires, don't worry about the windshield washer fluid, don't worry about putting extra gas in it. I'm just gonna put oil in it and that should do the trick, right? Well, you know, that doesn't really make sense. You know, oil is important to your car, but so is gas and windshield washer fluids and hopefully tires, since that's the only thing keeping you connected to the road between you and your car. There's so many different moving parts. And it's the same thing with your body. You know, probiotics are such an important part of your gut health, of helping to repair your gut and your symptoms. But there are many other moving parts happening within your body. And so again, to think that one probiotic is going to resolve all of the gas, all of the bloating, the skin issues, the mood issues, the fatigue, all of those issues that you're experiencing is kind of silly, don't you think? So we really need to manage our expectations around supplements because you know, there isn't a one supplement cure-all. So let's just dive right in. We're going to talk about the three things tonight that could have been causing your probiotic not to work, right? The three reasons why it didn't work. Famous last words. Okay, so number one, Instagram, number one, Facebook, number one. You could be missing steps in your protocol. And missing steps is a really, really big thing. And you know, we kind of just touched on this a little bit. You can put gas in your car, but if you're out of oil, folks, that's a problem. That's a problem. right? So you can be missing critical steps in your gut protocol. Again, probiotics is just one really important piece of the puzzle. You need good bacteria in your body. In fact, your probiotics have been shown to help your immune system, your mood, digestion of good vitamins and minerals. So they play a super important role. There's no question whether probiotics are going to be helpful or not. Okay? The question is if it didn't work, what other steps are you missing? You see, when our good bacteria are depleted, other imbalances can happen. Like you can have bad bacteria that can overproduce at that point, can overgrow and take over at that point. And if that's happening, you can take a probiotic and could put all the good bacteria back into your gut that you want. But if you've got an overgrowth of bad bacteria, then the probiotic isn't going to fix that issue. It's just putting more of the good guys in, right? So we need to make sure that we are not missing any of the steps here. So one of the number one reasons why a probiotic didn't work for you is you may have been missing some other steps in your protocol. Make sense? Let me know in the comments below. I want to hear from you. All right, the next thing, number two, Instagram. I see you too. All right, number two is poor soil quality. Now, if you were to plant a seed and it didn't have sun, water, maybe you tried to plant it in your sidewalk or something silly, it needs good quality soil. It needs to know that it's well hydrated, that it's safe, that it's okay for it to blossom and grow, right? So if you don't have good soil quality for a seed, a plant, a flower, anything, then it's not going to grow. It's not going to be able to repopulate and flourish. Okay? So the same thing's happening within your gut. If you're planting that probiotic capsule in a Big Mac from McDonald's, that's not going to do the trick, guys, because Big Macs are not great soil, right? Your probiotics need prebiotics. What are prebiotics? They're good quality foods that feed your good bacteria, your probiotics. And so some prebiotic options out in the world are things like artichokes, dandelion leaves, hickory, onions, garlic, leeks, asparagus, radishes. These are all great sources of prebiotics. So if you are not eating whole foods, if you're not eating good quality foods, then when you take a probiotic supplement and the soil is not laid and the soil ain't pretty down there, then your good bacteria are not going to be able to latch on and repopulate. All right, so eating healthy foods is just as important, and this is where I'm talking about you can be missing steps in your protocol. Your supplements are important, so is eating healthy, right? So you can't just take a probiotic and expect it to fix it all. Again, we need to adjust our expectations here. We need to adjust our expectations. It's silly to have such high expectations, and I know when you feel glued to the toilet and you're scared to leave the house because you're not sure where the closest toilet is and you're scared to eat, so you're resorting to your safe foods, which are probably a lot of bread, because you're so scared that there's going to be a food reaction and you're going to be glued to the toilet again. I totally understand how desperate we can get. And I totally get it that when you are so bloated and in so much pain because you haven't pooped in 3 days, that you are desperate to try anything and everyone is raving about probiotics, so you go and buy an expensive one thinking this is going to be it. This is the one thing that I've been missing. I've tried medications, I've tried doing restrictive diets, but nothing is working, and so you go and invest in probiotics and you have such high expectations that you're desperate for it to work and it doesn't. I get it. I have been there too. And so what I want to equip you guys with is a true understanding of the role that these supplements, in this case probiotics, play, and we need to make sure that we're addressing the whole picture. Otherwise, you're wasting your money. So stay plugged into this group because I'm going to continue to bring these topics in to make sure that we're addressing the whole picture here. So let's talk about the third thing here, the number 3 Number 3 tonight, the third reason why your probiotics might not be working. So it's interesting because dairy, gluten, and soy are very commonly allergens, and often people, even if they're not allergic to them, have sensitivities to them. And if this is the case for you, give me a hand in the comments, say, yep, that's me. I know that I'm sensitive to dairy or gluten or soy. Let me know in the comments below, because this definitely pertains to you. Now, some people are aware that they have a sensitivity and some people aren't aware. And if that's you, that's okay. If maybe you suspect there might be a sensitivity, this still pertains to you. And I will even tell you that even if you don't have a sensitivity, dairy and gluten are inflammatory and can often be problematic. So number 3 here, it's a big one. It's a really big one, and it makes all the difference. And so many people don't know about this one. So many people. So here's the interesting thing, is that most probiotic strains are cultured or grown on a dairy, a gluten, or a soy base. Okay? So wow, I bet you didn't know that, right? What that means is they actually grow that bacterial culture in a dairy or in some sort of source of glutinous food or grain, or in a soy base. And so if you have a sensitivity to one of these foods and you're taking a probiotic that contains dairy, gluten, or soy, then you betcha this probiotic probably is going to create some issues for you. It might actually be feeding into one of the reasons why you're feeling so shitty. So we really need to understand our supplements too. And again, I get what this looks like. You know, you go into a health food store, and if you've been into one recently, you'll notice that the probiotic sections are growing. And it's like a plethora of trillions and trillions of bacteria in all of these tiny boxes. And why is one $5 and the other one is $55? What is the difference between all of these? And this is why I encourage you to tap into the group for support or reach out to a practitioner to get specific guidance around what your individual body needs, because these are those minor details that can make all the difference for you. So I hope this was really helpful, guys, because these 3 reasons are such big reasons why probiotics may not have worked for you. And so what that means is that there's absolutely hope. Don't lose the faith. If it didn't work for you, there just means that there's some other underlying imbalance or reason that we need to get to and address. And when we do that, that's when the gas, bloating, diarrhea, and constipation will finally go away. So guys, we're gonna check out for tonight. I hope you have an awesome weekend, and we will see you next week. Bye.